Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Prim and Proper Sports presents Friday with the Fellas. Y'all know who we are. I'm Sonia, joined by James J. Train Martin, and Brian B.A. Strilla. Brian Arndt, the production producer extraordinaire, and shout out to Pink Fan Fur for the realest reels out there. Guys, how y'all doing tonight?
I am outstanding. I don't know about James, but I'm outstanding.
I am barely standing, but I'm here.
Good to see you. Yeah, well, listen, James, we know you have some festivities kicking off in less than a week. So we hope you kick your birthday down really quick. March 12th is quickly approaching. I've been waiting for you to join us at the same age again. I'm only a few weeks older than you. And it's been lonely at the top. So we hope you're having an amazing month overall. And whatever way you choose to celebrate, we hope that it is absolutely amazing, just like you, brother. So,
Thank
all
you very
right,
much.
absolutely. So, all right. So, with that, let's go ahead and start off our sports news and welcome in everybody. Before we go further, I do want to give actually, two more little announcements. Number one, tonight is Pearson's last night of accepting donations. Her big pageant is next weekend, next Sunday. March 15th. And I am so appreciative to all of you all who have so graciously donated. I am appreciative to Brian and James who have continuously marketed her since like December we started this. So thank you all so much for making sure that still went on even when I was not present. I appreciate you. Thank you. And to all of you all, so good luck to you, Pearson. We're super proud of you. And she'll be completing her scholarship journey on Sunday. Absolutely, Dizzle. And the second thing that I want to bring out, about to have a brain freeze here. Oh, yeah. I want to thank everybody who had over 7,500 people have tuned in on this platform in the last couple of days to watch Brian and James's movie debut, the B and Dub show. I think they call it movie. You guys can correct me on the official name, but thank you so much for their inaugural presentation. That show is nothing but amazing. If you're a movie enthusiast, a television enthusiast, what have you, drop them a comment on what you guys would like them to review. They have no discrimination about age of movie or anything. Current, past, even movies before our time. Those guys make that show engaging and entertaining. And I just want to congratulate you all and to thank everyone who has supported that on our new platform.
Thank you, Sonia, for that plug. And thank you, everybody who out there. We are graciously trying to continue to do our thing. That was the first episode, and we're going to make this a big thing if we can. But we really appreciate all of you for engaging. Just two average guys. And to Sonia, to tell you the name, it's BW Flicks, the average movie critics.
I love it. Absolutely amazing. And with that same stanza, what's going on, Jay? I will be kicking off tomorrow. Thank you, Isaiah. I will be kicking off tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My new show, The Legal Score. Yes, this is for everyone who said they've been supporting me forever, but still don't know a lot about sports and they just want to support. So I'll be kicking it off tomorrow at 4 p.m. Thanks to B for making this platform so spectacular and so amazing. And shout out to Miss Linda, who continues to assist our vision with the vision that her husband Mac had. And I need to correct something. I said on our last show that I thought the anniversary of his transition was coming up. Nope, it's in the end of April. So I misspoke on that.
It's coming though.
But nonetheless, it just felt like it was coming up. You know, it's the warmth of the year. And you guys don't forget, Sunday morning we have a big show, the big Sunday morning sports show. But you're gonna miss it if you don't remember to spring those clocks up 1 hour at 2 a.m. on Sunday. So go up, spring forward at 2 a.m. on this Sunday. All right, guys, got all the announcements out of the way. Now let's get to the show. Big news. All right, y'all know this is predominantly football, but I want to start out first with Phoenix Suns arrest of Dylan Brooks on a DUI. I almost feel like we're desensitized, guys, because it's like, who doesn't have some type of traffic offense, DUI offense, domestic offense that is a sports figure? I mean, these people are just like us. We just happen to see them on television. Were you guys surprised about this?
I don't know. I mean, they should change DUI from driving under the influence to just dumb under the influence, because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for anybody to just get behind the wheel if you know you're gonna drink, man. And it's not like you can't afford to have somebody else drive for you, or you can't
Mhm,
afford an Uber, or you can't afford a limo driver, or you can't afford just a family member, somebody just to be with you. That just
mhm.
doesn't make any sense. But everyone thinks they can handle whatever it is by getting behind the wheel. Idiotic. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It is what it is. And I'm not surprised that the name Dylan Brooks is associated with this. So whatever comes his way, it is what it is.
What are your thoughts, B?
Yeah, I agree with James. This is this, yeah, they're human beings just like everybody else, but the what you're not like everybody else is the 1% that's rich in this country. So
Mhm,
if you can get away from doing stupid stuff by getting an Uber, how about just not drinking at all or doing whatever because you're in the spotlight?
mhm,
On all these and this is a thing that I associate with mental health too, because then these athletes will start saying, well, they're talking about me, and that's well, you're in the limelight. This is what you get paid to do. You have to understand this. You do get classes in this for every professional sports. They do give you classes to look out what you're doing.
mhm.
It's up to you to pay attention. It's up to you to have common sense. So I mean, yeah, I don't. In a way, I can't feel sorry for these athletes. They got too many avenues that they can get away from it.
I
Where
Yeah, and I'm sharing this live here. I James said something that made me think about it. Think, I have to be honest with, who I am. A lot of times I have transparent moments. We do think we can handle it. I've been in situations where I was consuming alcohol and so was other people. And I felt like, well, I'll trust my judgment over them riding with them because I know me, and we're all drunk. We're all drunk. It's all bad. And if I had gotten pulled over, I'm pretty sure I was well above the limit because I'm not a drinker. And during the time that I had had quite a bit. And I was literally sick the next morning. That's how you know you've drank a lot, when you have consumed so much you can't even, like, I literally think I had alcohol poisoning.
Mhm.
And um and then I've been in situations, it was New Year's Eve. It's weird because right before the pandemic came in, and one of my coworkers had invited me um to her house because it was just me. And she was like, I don't want you to bring New Year in by yourself. That was during the time I was kind of new to being by myself. So I was really depressed. This show, we just keep it real. I'm just gonna keep it real, guys. So I was really depressed, and she's like, come out. And they're from the islands. And y'all, anybody that knows islanders know how to party for real. And so this was when 2020 came in. I should have known the way I woke up on New Year's Day that it was going to be a whole bunch of stuff with 2020. Everybody knows it was, because that was the kickoff of the pandemic. And I remember they all were like partying. I mean, I took shot after shot. I don't even know how many shots I had. So up to the point, and I wasn't eating a lot. Yes, up to the point that anything they had colored, I was like, well, let me try that. Let me try that. And they were like, have you eaten? I was like, no, I'm not even hungry. I'm just, they're like, you need to eat. And I was trying to eat, but I just couldn't. So when New Year's came, then you have the champagne toast. So I followed that up with it. And I remember riding from that party location to her house. I had left my truck there. And to this day, I remember feeling like I was in Super Mario Brothers, because I was in the middle of everybody in the back. And I just feel like every move just felt like I was all over the place. And she begged me to stay with her. She was like, please, don't go home. I know you've had too much to drink, and it's New Year's Eve. She knew I was about, trying to get into law school, had started taking the LSAT during that time. And I was like, girl, it's just around the corner. I'll be okay. Y'all, I was so drunk. and I drive a big SUV, that I remember seeing a police officer on the side of the road, and I was like, I don't even know how. I probably was going like 20 miles per hour. I was so scared to drive after I had decided to drive because it was a curvy road and there was a cop there, and I saw people like flashing me, like, get out of the way. And I was just like, no, no. I was literally begging people, no, 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 don't flash me because I can't see. Y'all, the next day when I woke up, one of my neighbors rang the doorbell. I went downstairs. The entire stairwell was full of like my earrings, my clothes. It's like I just walked in and everything off and just got into bed. And Lawson was out. I don't know how he didn't have an accident. I go to the door and she's like, I just want to make sure you're okay because your truck is like in the street. And I'm like, oh, I must have pulled beside the street. She's like, no, it's like half in your driveway, half in the street. And I'm like, no, it's not. And I go outside, y'all. Only the front of the tires was in my driveway. The rest of the truck was all the way in the street, which means everybody that passed my house, because I live near the front of the subdivision, had to go around my truck to get out. And somebody finally was like, let me make sure she's okay. But in my mind, I thought I parked and came on in. The other thing was I had not even locked my doors. I literally, when she rang the doorbell, I just opened it and was like, dang, did I not lock? And so I'm saying all that to say God was really with me because in addition to that, I threw up all day. I literally, when she was like, girl, I've been calling you. I was like, I think I might have to go to the hospital. I think I have alcohol poisoning. And this was 5 years ago. So I'm fully grown, but I'm telling you, it happens. And I just, I had to kind of spin that in because it's funny, but not funny. But these athletes think the same thing. They think they're invincible and they think, hey, I got it. So it's like, I am surprised it's Dylan Brooks because I often look at him as one of the good, the good guys, one of the more wholesome players. You don't hear a lot of stuff about him. Well, I don't know. Am I wrong? Maybe I shouldn't say wholesome, but not as bad as like John Morant. I'll say that.
Off the court, yeah, I don't think he has a lot. More also, I think let's just say he's probably built a persona of being like a bad boy on the court.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so you're right. Maybe not off the court, but more so on the court.
You know what I find that's interesting about athletes in these situations, and you're right about that, Sonia. They think they're invincible because they got a lot of money and they can do whatever and get a lawyer. I'm thinking, the small amount of money you could have paid for an Uber, you wouldn't be getting in court for court costs. I mean, is it like that you can just throw money around and think you're going to get away with everything? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand the common sense that goes along with that whole situation. I mean, I don't know about James, but I've been in that same situation you have been too, Sonia, and a little bit younger. In my 20s, upper 20s, when I was doing all that crazy crap.
That's a whole show.
There's too many stories I can tell, that's for sure. Yeah. I ain't proud of all of them, that's for sure too. But
yeah. B, you just said you said two things that just one thing that or two things that don't go together as young people and common sense. Yeah. The majority pretty much are like the opposite of magnets. You take them and try to pull, they repel. And so common sense and young people typically don't go together, especially if it involves alcohol. And so, I mean, it's what it is. And you do have to give people grace and give people the room to make poor choices or poor decisions. I wouldn't say mistakes. I think you know what you're doing when you pour, you're asking for a specific drink and you drink and then you want another one and another one and another one. Those are mistakes. That's just bad decisions. But with that said, you got to give people room. I'm not judging at all. Boy, I could look at some, not with alcohol, but just doozies of things that I've done in my 20s that just like, wow, this is crazy. When you're young and dumb. So I just
and the other thing that goes along with that too.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
We paused on that one. Yeah, but anyway. All right. So in other news, Celtics, Jason Tatum is returning from this Achilles injury, guys. That's really big. Jason has been out for quite a while. Well, we're all excited to see him back. I love Jason Tatum. How much of an impact do you think he has with this Celtics team, especially with them coming off this big loss to the Charlotte Hornets a couple of days ago?
Well, it's going to be a
You just
great
had to throw
impact
that in there,
because
didn't you?
I had to.
right now, I mean, look, you can segue to the Hornets because right now they're on a tear and they're
Yeah.
doing really good. And so they're going to be something special, I think, in the playoffs. But at the same time, they're young.
Mm-hmm.
So, but let's get back to Boston. This is the right time for Jason Tatum to return. They're number two currently in the Eastern Conference, and their stars, including Jalen Brown, have been on a tear as well. Derek White, they've been doing well. I mean, obviously they lost, but they're still again number two in the Eastern Conference. Let me put that out there, number two. So without the presence of their leader, their ball number one primary ball handler. They've been holding down. They got
Mm-hmm.
really good coaching, really good defense. They figured out ways to drop guys like Al Horford and a few other guys and add some more guys and the young guys. I mean, forgot the kid's name. He's a center. He's been playing elite defense in the middle, and that's really helped him out a lot. But having Jason, I mean, I even watched before we came on. He had a putback dunk. So and the whole Boston, what's the name of
Mhm.
their stadium? They just went wild. I mean, so Jason Tatum is back, and so that's motivation for the latter part of this season, and then going straight into the playoffs. And believe it or not, watch out. I think Boston might have an opportunity to get to the finals if
Mhm.
Jason is really back for real.
Mhm.
And even if he wasn't back, I was going to say they still have an opportunity to get to the finals, just they're based off how they're playing now. So watch out
Yeah,
now.
he missed
Yeah, and
62 games that he has missed. That's a lot of games. And in his first 19 minutes back, he looked absolutely sharp. 9 rebounds, 6 assists. They're currently beating down the Mavericks right now, 120 to
mhm.
96, last 2 minutes of the game. I'm sorry about that, B. Go ahead. You were saying?
Well, you stole my thunder on that score, but yeah, I think the Pistons need to shape up. They've been playing some pretty crappy basketball, being at the top there in the last couple of few games. I know they've played the best of the West, but they haven't been looking like the best of the East, in which that's the reason why they're number one. Boston is a serious threat to them now. Like with Tatum back in the lineup, they've taken the Pistons have taken 2 or 3 from them, but with Tatum back, it's going to be rough for the
Let's
Pistons.
say it like J. Anthony Brown used to say, the comedian. Watch out there now.
Well, I will tell you, speaking of watching out, unfortunately, the Celtics just can't shake it. Nikola Vucevic actually injured himself in tonight's game. The veteran center that you're talking about, J Train, sustained a fractured right ring finger just 2 minutes into tonight's game. And
What's his
so
name?
his
Who is
name
it?
is Nikola Vucevic.
No, the
He
No,
rookie
no,
is
that's
the
that's no,
he
that's
is
not the one I was talking about.
that's
This
not
is
the
a
okay.
rookie.
7-footer.
Okay, well,
He's a
they're
rookie.
But
veterans.
they
They're
lost
veterans.
somebody though.
Their veteran
Mhm.
center. He's expected to have surgery on tomorrow and expected to be sidelined at least until early April. Luca Garza and Neemias Queta are expected to see increased minutes in the front court during his absence. I guess you're talking
That's who
about
I
Mhm.
yeah,
That's the guy.
Nisi, yeah, that's the guy, the last guy. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, yes, Neemias Queta.
Yeah. Thank
Despite the
you.
team, yeah, you're welcome. Playing nearly the entire season without Tatum, the Celtics are 41-21. They remain a powerhouse in the Eastern Conference. Boston does hold that number 2 seed in the East, trailing the top seeded Detroit Pistons by 4.5 games. And the team's defense actually is number 1 in the NBA right now in points allowed, 107.1, and turnovers per game is 11.4. Before tonight's anticipated win, the Celtics suffered a lopsided loss to the Hornets that I told you guys about on Wednesday, 118-89. And right now, the Hornets are losing with
To the
about
Miami Heat.
3 minutes left in that game. 120-114 is that specific
Mhm.
score, but it's still close enough that anything can happen. But the time is a ticking there. Of course, the Hornets following a dominant
Shoot the threes,
Canucko,
threes.
Canucko. Victory in Boston extended their win streak to 10 games. Franchise record 10-game winning streak for the Hornets. And as of March 6th, which is today, they sit in the 9th place in the East. That's a familiar place for them, honestly, when it comes to the winnings they in. But hopefully they can climb their tide with the Atlanta freaking Hawks, go figure, and just 2 games behind the Miami Heat, who they are playing right at this moment. So that game is going to be wrapping up here soon. Con Knuppel, of course, number 4 overall pick, is the front runner for Rookie of the Year. Congratulations to him. And of course, that's because of all the records he's broken as of late. Fastest player in NBA history to reach 200 career three-pointers and led the team with 20 points in their win over Boston. LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller also standouts. They're healthy and performing at a high level, each scoring 18 points in their recent blowout of the Celtics. Miller has credited the team's shift in mindset and increased fan support at the Spectrum Center. So fans turning up downtown Charlotte left and right. All right, guys, so let's go to we'll keep you guys all updated on the scores. Let's go back to our next news here. LeBron James passed the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar record for the most field goals in NBA history, 15,838, with a turnaround baseline jumper in the first quarter of today's loss, even though they lost, yesterday's loss, my bad, Thursday, to the Denver Nuggets, 120-113. LeBron finished the record-breaking game with 16 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. He's currently out for today's game with a left elbow contusion against
I just saw something.
We both saw it. Breaking news.
We saw it. Oh my God!
Go ahead, James. Go ahead, James.
It's broken.
Go ahead,
you saw it. Go ahead. No, go ahead, man. You go ahead, break it. I can't believe that.
Max Crosby has been traded to the Baltimore Ravens.
I was about to get to that. I haven't gotten to the NFL yet.
It just broke. It just broke just now.
That's what I'm saying. I saw it pop up like right when y'all were saying it. It was popping up on because I have my phone here, and I was like, I'll just hold it. Let me get through these NBA
2026, 2027 first round picks.
Well, I guess we're done with the NBA, guys, since we just segued in that.
Oh, we can still talk about that. It was just you got to break it when you break it. You know what I'm saying?
So I do have one thing about the NBA before we leave it. So I've been saying what you've been saying is Knuppel, but I've heard several professional people on TV say Knuppel. Yes. Is it Knuppel or Knuppel? What is it?
It's Knuppel. They're going to have some big problems, especially when Noah Kaniga comes into the league. Then if they're having problems with Knuppel, imagine the problems they're going to have with Noah Kaniga.
They're going to have it because they just see what they see. That's what that's going to be about. Yeah, nobody can pronounce
don't
names
know who that
right.
is. His name is Knigga. So Google him. He's a real person. And the Raiders are stacked. I'll talk about them in just a minute. But since we've already segued to that, let me just, you know what? Let's just segue on over to the NFL here. B, can you do me a favor? Can you go ahead and just run our commercial here for Pearson? And when we come back, we'll just flip the next all the way over to the NFL. So this is a good time to pause for that. All right, guys, have your phones ready.
Right. Give us a couple minutes. Give us a couple minutes, and we will be there. Hold on here, and go.
The God above made you a masterpiece. The vision is clearer, nearer. My God, to thee, learning to lean on His power. Your perspective can be sweet when circumstances are sour. I'm saying. You can see the vision clearer. Your identity is waiting, and you feel that hope is fading. Just hold on, it's gonna be alright. Trust in God, stand firm and hold tight. It's like that, yeah. It's like that, yeah. Meditation, I'm searching for a peace that's not present. I'm searching for feelings of solitude, emotions that's pleasant. Treasure, what did you deem important versus essential? We put our heart and soul in every line behind instrumentals. Coincidental? I think not. God's plan from the very beginning. Create the type of music that make people think twice before sinning. Pleading, Holy Father, please forgive my trespasses. Confusing things we want for things we need in life. I must have selfish, inconsiderate, narcissistic people. died for all the world, so there is power in Jesus. Issues happen, disagreements, dissensions, distortions. This fallen flesh, we still forget sometimes that God is our portion. Forcing others won't cut it, nor manipulation. One thing that's very destructive is self-righteous behavior. Satan, he's crafty, throwing darts like Bailey's.
All right, you guys, we are back for the second half of our show, Prim and Proper Sports. I'm Sonia with B and James. And you guys checked out all of our shows that are just round the clock, right on the McGrath Podcasting Network. Production to Mr. B.A. in the left corner. All right, so before we went to the break, we talked about this breaking news, the Max Crosby trade. Raiders are expected to receive 26 and 27 first-round picks from Baltimore. The agreement is in place. It cannot be officially processed until the new league year begins next week. Trade follows a fractured relationship that intensified after the Raiders shut Crosby down for the final 2 games of the 2025 season due to a torn meniscus, a decision that Crosby publicly disputed. You guys remember the video with him shooting balls? And I think all three of us were talking about this just about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And James and I both said that we felt like he was going to be traded because there was sharks in the water and we felt like Crosby was not happy. But our producer here said he just didn't see it happening. So it's great to be on live to see this happen. And look, he's frozen, guys, to see this happen and see that
that was the final straw. That was the final straw right there when Tom Brady's trainer was there and he didn't like that whole situation. He made that plain known too. So I think that was the final straw because he, and Tom Brady is is part owner of that team. So there you go.
Chicago, Dallas also were publicly known as suitors. And Chicago had also been trying to cough up some of their first rounders. But Crosby's currently playing under a 3-year, $165 million extension. You guys remember he just signed that last year. I remember us talking about it. The deal guarantees $91.5 million in total guarantees, making him the highest paid non-quarterback player at the time of his signing. For 2026, he carries a $35.8 million cap hit and is set to earn a base salary of $30 million. For the last season, he had 10 sacks. Tackles for loss, he had 28, ranking near the top of the league. 73 total tackles and 1 interception, 6 pass defenses, and 2 forced fumbles in 15 games. Now, he's leaving the Raiders as their all-time franchise leader in tackles for loss, over 130, and ranks 3rd in career sacks for the entire organization. He's served and earned actually 5 consecutive Pro Bowl selections, 2021 through 2025. This is big. I mean, we've seen him with the Raiders as long as we can possibly remember. The implications for the Raiders, I mean, wow. First round picks, it doesn't say what number in the first round, but you could just best believe it's going to be the first pick that they have in the first round, right, guys?
Yeah, it's the first round pick next year. So it don't make a difference where it's at. It's where it's at.
It should be somewhere in the middle, as in regards to the Ravens. I think they have 11, 12, somewhere around there, 13th, somewhere around there. But it's a good pick. Yeah. It's a premium pick. So with that said, I'm surprised that that Baltimore made this move. I like Max Crosby. I think he's a premium defender. But they're going to need a lot more help on their defense because their defense was really not that good last year, and they had a lot of problems in regards to their offense making a few things. And I think they could have used their draft pick to shore up and add some pieces, or maybe trade back and add a few more draft picks and add a few more pieces to their defense and their offense. But with that being said, I mean, they must think that they have that's one piece that's missing, that they still have opportunities to be competitive in the playoffs. They got Jesse Minter as their new head coach. Uh, I don't know what his game plan is. So there's no more ball coming from John Harbaugh, so he's no longer there. It's a whole new regime. So there's some question marks here. And to give up assets for a player, I'm not saying that he's old in Max Crosby, but he is getting close to 30. I mean, what is he, 28, about to be 29 or something like that? And I think that, and then he's coming off an injury as well. I mean, I just look, I think he's good. I think he's very good. I think he's a great player. Is he in the same stratosphere as a
Micah
Miles
Parsons,
Garrett
no.
or Micah
Miles
Parsons?
Garrett.
No, I think he's just a step below them. So that was a pretty rich deal. And I think the Raiders, to me, for their aspect, from their perspective, they're going to win on this because they got picks they can utilize and they can move up because they can give that draft pick away from next year. They can take that draft and couple it with maybe the one they just obtained and move up even higher and still get a premium player after they take the first number one overall. So they got a lot of options here right now, and they're going to need them because they need the players. They're getting rid of Geno Smith, and I know we're going to segue into the players that have been released, but that's one of the players that they're going to lose. And they saved $8 million on that, and although they'll be 18.5 million against the cap, but they're going to have $8 million to help them, get another free agent. And so the Raiders look like they're trying to do something here. So I think I'm going to give an A to the Raiders and a C minus my grade to the Ravens for this pick.
Yeah, I really do believe that, like you're saying, the Raiders are definitely trying to make some noise. I mean, it's just a lot. The Raiders have not been relevant. No pun intended. No, not trying to tongue twist or anything, but they have not been relevant for a while. And they kind of remind me of like when you're trying to find the perfect fit, when you're like somewhere shopping for something, and it just seems like you try on things, and you finally are at a point where you're like, okay, maybe this will work, maybe that will work. But they've been trying on coaches, they've tried on quarterbacks, they've brought Tom Brady in some type of capacity, as part owner or whatever, general manager, whatever he is. I don't remember Tom's title. He seems to just kind of be in a lot of things, no matter what his title is. And they literally just, I don't know. I feel bad for Raiders fans because they are so like not relevant for such a long time. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Like you're right. They are now trading out your one person who has been your difference maker in the games you did come close enough to, or perhaps this is more actually better for Max, because even though Harbaugh is not in Baltimore anymore, they still got Derrick Henry up there. Of course, they got Lamar. Like they have people in place to do what they need to do. And so I don't know what the Raiders are doing. I mean, maybe they're like, hey, we got a new stadium and we're in a new city and it's time for us to act like it. They've been there for a while. What do you think, B?
Well, they haven't been relevant since Al Davis in the first place. So let's get that. Mark Davis is not.
With that bowl haircut.
Yeah, he's not the guy. I think the Ravens, you got to understand something about Minter. Minter is a defensive-minded head coach. Remember, he was at one time with Baltimore as a defensive coordinator. He went to Michigan also as a defensive coordinator for a season, the season they won a national championship. And he came back out of there. And he went to, I believe it was the Chargers for, I a minute, and then he got this job, so he's going to be defensive minded. So maybe in his mind, he's trying to get Baltimore back to the defensive prowess. And I know Robbie is mad because they traded into Baltimore. Robbie is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so that doesn't bode well for Pittsburgh at all. So I mean, he's just getting that defense back to where it needs to be. Remember, that's basically what you knew Baltimore for. Baltimore, the defense, and maybe Lamar Jackson. That's basically how you looked at that Baltimore. So he just put him back in promised land again. He's just trying to do what he's got to do for the defense. I think it was a little bit, and James, you're right. I think it was cost a little bit too much. I wouldn't have gave 2 first round picks for that guy. I just wouldn't. And hell, I want him to come to Detroit, but I was going to give up 2 first round picks for him. Heck, but it is what it is.
More bigger news, because guys, we haven't been together since this happened. DJ Moore to the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Bills Mafia, like, it's on fire. Like, okay, Bills, like, you guys no longer have a reason to not get to the AFC and win it. Like, okay, you now have DJ Moore, one of the biggest wide receivers in the league right now. Was not being targeted in Chicago. A little rift between him and Caleb because of that same thing. They traded him. He's now in Buffalo. He went from one cold city to the next. Definitely not heading back to any medium type temperatures like that was in the Carolinas when he was first in the league for the Panthers. 2026 second round pick is what they're coughing up for him. And and a 5th round pick, my bad, as well. He's going to reunite with Coach Joe Brady, y'all. It's always about connections in life. And Joe Brady, now the head coach of Buffalo, has brought more in. He was his OC during his most productive years in Carolina, just like I mentioned. And the trade saved Chicago $16.5 million in cap space as they pivot toward younger receivers like Rome Odunze. Now, a lot of teams are having these cap issues despite the league raising the cap limit. It's almost like you could have the U.S. Mint in your backyard, and if you are $1 million in debt and you can only print out $500,000, it's not going to do much. So you got to start cleaning up some of your cap space and getting rid of some of your assets. Guys, what are your thoughts on DJ Moore to the Buffalo Bills?
So I just finished watching, before I came on the show with you guys, watching Steve Smith, his podcast, Agent 2089, Steve Smith Sr. And he backs DJ Moore. Because he said that's my spirit animal. Because he looks at him, I guess, as similar. First of all, they got the connection with Carolina. And when I first saw DJ Moore, I thought his comp was Steve Smith Sr. And so now hearing him say that, I say, okay, he sees the same thing too. Because one thing Steve Smith Sr. is, I watch Agent 89 all the time, and most times he's right. He is a wide receiver evaluator, and he really likes DJ Moore, and he thinks, and this came out right before the trade. He predicted that he was probably going to get traded to Buffalo. And it happened. And so I like him as a number one. First of all, instantly he becomes a number one receiver there because he's an alpha and he was the leader of the group there in and see, that's the thing.
He didn't quit running. He was 682 yards.
Steve Smith said he didn't quit running. And I looked at the play. He didn't quit running. The play was supposed to go if you notice the play when it begins, he went full speed. And when he looked back, his head back, where he was supposed to catch the ball, it was supposed to be on the opposite side of the field, not where he continued running, because Caleb was playing street ball at that moment. And instead of playing what Ben Johnson, that's what Steve Smith said, instead of playing what Ben Johnson has for him, that offense moves better when he plays to my man's Ben Johnson's game plan. When he starts doing the grass street ball, then things go out of whack. And so he knew he wasn't going to get the ball. Now he said, do you continue playing? Yes. But that throw was on Caleb Williams. That wasn't on the receiver. It was on Caleb Williams. It was a bad throw.
Can't make it say he's just kidding because everybody could see that. I mean, it's easy in the moment to assert blame, but there was some
And let me say this: Josh Allen hasn't had a true number one ever in his career.
Yep.
He's going to have one now. He's going to have one now, and they're going to thrive. I'm just mark my word. This is another night. B. You can mark my word on this one on March 6th, 2026. When we get to the next season, we'll see DJ Moore have another 1,000-yard season. I'm calling it.
Yep.
Right here.
And he did have one. To go from that to 682 in last year, lets you know he clearly wasn't targeted. Bills have been doing a lot of moving around. Other teams, I want us to talk about our teams before we hop off of here. Different signings. Big news out of Carolina. In addition to Luke Kuechly being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the Carolina Panthers will be playing in that game August 6th, 2026, right here. They're going to be facing the Arizona Cardinals minus Kyler Murray, who has moved on. And I'm super excited. I will tell you guys, I plan on being there. I've gotten my reservations. I just need to figure out if I'm going to fly because the tickets are crazy. I've been to Canton before. It's nothing really to sneeze at as far as big stuff. It's just the Pro Football Hall of Fame makes the city what it is. And I realize I won't be in classes that week. So I do need to make that my point, especially with Luke Kuechly, one of my favorite players, being enshrined. And now that I know the Panthers are playing, that's super exciting to kick off the season. So congratulations to them, and congratulations to Jalen Coker of the Carolina Panthers. They have decided to embrace him and make him a part of the team. It's the exclusive tag. Let me see. I gotta get the exact wording down. I was texting with his dad. Shout out to you, Jamal. They have actually placed the exclusive rights tender on Jalen Coker. That's the correct terminology. So now nobody can talk to Jalen, and it's a great thing for him to have that, considering it's for players that are in the league less than 3 years who haven't necessarily secured a rookie contract. And so now this is a great step towards moving for both the team and for Coker, who's definitely showed and proved who he was and continues to be in Carolina. So congratulations to him. And that's the big news I have out of Carolina. James, sticking with you for a moment, let's kick it to the NFC South. What's going on with the New Orleans Saints?
Well, maybe not such great news as you have heard with Carolina. Likely on Twitter, Alante Taylor said goodbye to New Orleans, so he's probably going to go out in free agency and get that bag. It's projected for him to be collecting upwards of 17 to 20 million per year as a boundary corner. Wow. And is he really a boundary corner? No. I mean, we've tried him at boundary corner. We've used him more so as a slot corner and slash safety. And in Brandon Staley's defense, he seemed to thrive in under 1 year with that position, but that's what got him paid. So, but he's definitely looking for the money as a boundary corner. So, and that's the Saints are likely not to pay him that. So he's going to end up going elsewhere. So he'll be missed, but some things about him won't be missed. You know, he misses tackles. He loses his position with certain receivers. So he's a mixed bag, is what I'm saying. And also, really, we're going to be losing two good players also that were like the heart of the defense. Potentially Cam Jordan. We didn't give him a contract. And so now, for the first time in his career, he's going to go test the free agency market. So I hope that it's not as good as it's supposed to be, and we can get him back so he can retire a Saint. But I mean, I hate to see that, but I gotta if I'm the man, if I'm Cam, I want to get the best bang for my buck at the end of my career. So if it means going out and potentially getting a championship, so he's probably going to go somewhere where they're a potential contender. And last but not least, we don't know for sure if he's coming back, but Demario Davis, the center of the defense as well, the heart and soul of the team. What they arguably with the media in New Orleans calls the second greatest free agent in New Orleans Saints history. next to Drew Brees is Demario Davis. I remember we
Oh
got
my
him from
gosh.
the Browns, and he never looked back. He's just been a dog for that defense and a leader for that defense. And when Drew Brees left, he took over the motivational calls at the beginning of the games. And so if anybody out there ever get an opportunity, just look up Demario Davis and look up some of his calls. You will get out your chair early in the morning if it's a game in London, and you'll stand up and start shouting everything he's shouting because he's just that motivating. But that's going to be missed because a lot of times, one thing you can't put a price on is great leadership. And
Hmm.
Demario Davis, I mean, he had the most tackles he ever had as a 36-year-old last season with 146, but the leadership was even more priceless for that organization, and they're going to miss it.
So no true rumors about Tyler Shuck going anywhere for you guys getting none of that. All that's
First of
hearsay.
all,
We know who
I
it
didn't
is.
respond to that, but let's. He can't even
What?
show his face up and said, "Oh, maybe
And he
I'll be
said he
there
was
next
gonna be
week."
on here tonight. What a liar.
Man, call him out. I hope he's watching. Man,
Yeah,
he
after
done got
he talked all that stuff about me.
he done
That's
lost
all
all them
right. That's
pounds.
why I told him.
Now,
That's why I told him
yeah.
once in a while you can be right. Out of 1,000 times that you were wrong,
And
bro, you can
still
be
won't
right one
show up.
time.
He done lost all that weight. Now he's strutting the streets.
Yeah,
He
he
can't
must
be
be out there
on
modeling or something.
the A
We're
train
not
is on
naming
the
you no more,
streets.
Fern, and we definitely not looking for Kevin. I guess Kevin has already decided he's probably left the show at once the Falcons hired Kevin Stefanski. He knew it was nothing for them to talk about the whole next season, so he already dipped out. We're not going to see him to probably 2028 when the Falcons get the Super Bowl here in Atlanta again, and that's all he's going to be talking about is the fact that it's here in Atlanta. That's wild. Even though it doesn't have anything to do with New Orleans anymore, he was once a Saint. I do want to ask you this before I ask B about the Lions. Um, Rashid Shaheed, who went to Seattle, got a ring, and now they're tossing him out and projected to also toss out Kenneth Walker III, the MVP. Like, what's going on? I mean, I know they have Cabernet, and we talked with Bo about that. What you guys did on Wednesday, I watched the show, and they're gonna toss Cabernet out next year. So I'm just like, what, why? Of course, that team is up for
Because
sale, but
when you have great players at every position, they all want to get paid. They all want to get
mhm.
paid. So you can't pay everybody. That's just how things go. You win the Super Bowl, everybody did well. Oh, it's time for me to get paid. Kenneth Walker the third, he clearly was the driving force of that playoff run. And so, with 313 yards and 4 touchdowns, I just think that if I'm that team, I'm going to keep that player, but they know they can't afford 15 million per year, and that's likely what he's going to command on the free agent market because of right now he's the top free agent running back
Yeah, I
because
know.
of what he's done.
Even teams that go to the Super Bowl, they demand money. Like, look at the Panthers. Now, yeah, we were undefeated except for one game, so that's a good record within itself. But they claim that's how they imploded the team after that because everybody was like, "Hey, yeah, we might not have won, but we were number two, and we want to be paid." And it just, you don't understand it as a fan. And speaking of not really understanding it, I mean, B, I was very shocked that David Montgomery is no longer a Detroit Lion. Were you? And let's talk about other moves that the Lions have going
Who are
on.
you kidding? I was just as shocked. But see, this goes to the whole point what I try to say to people about players saying stuff and then immediately the organizations take action.
Mhm.
So it started with Montgomery talking about he didn't get enough touches. Didn't say he wanted to get traded. He didn't say none of that. None of that came out of his mouth. What he said is he wanted more touches. However, those touches did not come with Dan Campbell being an offensive coordinator. So basically, he was backslapping Dan Campbell for that whole situation. Okay. And Dan Campbell is a petty as F. Okay.
Mhm.
And he will get rid of you if you're not going to conform to. And I understand that to a point. But now you just formed another hole in your offense that you have to get somebody for. You got draft picks. But Brad Holmes hasn't been doing so good in his draft picks over the last couple of years. You got an offensive lineman that was 31 or 32 players in the league, and everybody wants to blow him up here. Oh, well, he was a second round pick. He sucks. Okay. His PFF was 45. Come on. And he was playing as a starter. Now it was Houston, granted, and they didn't really have a great offensive line anyway. But the point of the matter is, you're not getting any benefits. I think Houston won that trade. And by the way, Houston got rid of Nixon. They just cut him today. So, I mean, that I saw that coming anyway. That was going to, as soon as they got Montgomery, I said, oh, Nixon's gone. But they got, as much as they have, he has done, Monty has done for the Lions, you know, he was never the feature running back, although they try to make him the feature running back. But Jahmyr Gibbs was the guy.
Yeah. But
he worked with that. He was fine with that. They had very good years together. And the fact that they broke that up is just telling me that this organization is not serious about winning Super Bowls. They're serious about winning games and trying to get in the playoffs, but they're not serious about winning Super Bowls. I'm tired of this stuff.
Sad. It's so much talent there. That makes no sense.
Yeah. And then they cut Glasgow, and now they cut Decker today.
Oh,
so
dang.
that's two offensive linemen. They got Glasgow. I could see them cutting too, because he's not good. He wasn't any better than the guy that we got in the trade. But Decker was another. But Decker wanted too much money. He wasn't really great last year. But you're going to be asking for more money than you're really worth. And the Lions were going to pay that. And the Lions are stingy with their money. It's just like everybody's talking about, oh, well, they should go get this free agent. They get that free agent. They're talking about your center for Carolina that's gonna be a free agent. They ain't gonna go after him. They don't want to pay that kind of money. They're gonna go dollar bin shopping after the first wave of free agency's over. They're gonna go get some chumps that they think they're gonna play well, and half of those guys do play pretty well, but the other half just end up by the wayside. So I don't know what the Lions are doing, to tell you the truth. They got way too many holes to fill right now. We don't know what's going on with the safety situation, except for Brian BB. BB is going to be here in November because he's got an ACL injury. But Kirby, nobody knows what's the extent of his knee, so we might not have two safeties starting safeties that should be starting at the beginning of the season. So we got to find somebody to replace them. We don't know what we're doing with Anzalone yet, if we're going to get rid of him. And Cam Jordan, by the way, was one of the topics of getting him off of free agency because he knows Dan Campbell. I mean, they have history. I just can't see that though, because the Lions are stingy as hell and they're not going to pay nobody. So I don't know what they're doing. I think they're going to recede this year too. I don't think they're going to win 9 wins. They're not going to get 9 wins.
Oh
They're just not. They're not. I don't know what they're doing. I can't explain anything they're doing. I just hope it works out. They got all these draft picks. Brad better hit on these draft picks. He better hit on them, because if he don't, that's going to end that. You might be seeing them guys on a hot seat next year.
They had already kind of hinted around to that. I don't know. Lots of moving parts amongst a lot of teams. The Bills released their cornerback Johnson and wide receiver Samuel. And as you guys heard, the Raiders released Geno Smith, and the Bears traded for the Patriots center Garrett Bradbury. So a lot of stuff going on in the NFL. Some big names I don't even know. Where do you guys think, before I give you guys the last plugs of the scores here for the NBA and wrap up with some college basketball, where do you guys think Kyler Murray goes?
There's rumors that he may be going to Minnesota.
But I thought Kirk Cousins was going to go back there because the Falcons are planning on releasing him, and he wants to go back to Minnesota.
We'll see. I just said, like I said, I read it as rumors. It's a rumor, so I don't know for sure. But I mean,
and I guess they gave up.
But
on
somebody's going to grab it.
To me, that'd be another bad mistake by the Vikings. He does not fit that offense. I don't understand why they just throw out rumors to be like, well, we got to put him somewhere. Let's put him here. Kyler Murray is not KOC's type of quarterback. I'm telling you that right now. He's just not. And I would see him better fitting in like the Jets maybe, That would be a possibility because they had Justin Fields. He's a running quarterback. I mean,
I got to disagree with you. I mean, the quarterback they have now is the one that they drafted is similar to Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a pocket quarterback. He's definitely a mobile quarterback. And McCarthy, I think I think Kyler is a better version of McCarthy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's the same height, but he's definitely a better version of him. So I think Kevin O'Connell can curtail his offense. Well, let me finish. I think he can. Let me finish. I think he can curtail his offense to any quarterback. That tells me how great a coach. Any good coach that's supposed to be a quarterback whisperer, you're not gonna just say, "I got this one particular guy." And I mean, look what happened with Lamar Jackson. They figured it out. The quarterback they had before Lamar was definitely a pocket passer. Lamar Jackson was a total opposite of Flacco. And just it's really the coach. It's a coaching situation. I think it's just you're gonna figure it out. I got my specific quarterback I want to come in. If I see what you got, I'm gonna curtail my offense to your strengths. And I think it's possible. I'm not gonna say that's where he's going. It's a rumor. But I could see Kevin O'Connell taking him and maneuvering. I mean, he had what's his name there? Danny Jones, another quarterback that runs and passes. I'm not saying that it won't work. It's just the only difference is the color of their skin. To me, I think they're similar quarterbacks. Most of these quarterbacks now are not pocket passers, so I think it could definitely work for sure.
I don't. The thing I want to cut you off by, and I'm sorry, but he didn't pick J.J. McCarthy. That was the front office that picked J.J. McCarthy, and that's the reason why that GM is out the door. McCarthy can't work with McCarthy. Chaos, that is not the type of quarter. And this is what I say. This is why McCarthy has to sit because he has to learn that offense. He has to be patient. Now, Michigan, he didn't sit there and run the ball like that either. He was a pocket passer at Michigan. When he had to be a pocket passer, he's a pocket passer. He took off. He's kind of like Stafford in a way. I'm not saying he's good like Stafford. I'm just saying how he moves. He's a pocket passer. He runs when he has to run. And that's what J.J. McCarthy is. And you can work with that more than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is a gunslinger. He don't care. He's playing backyard football all the time. And that's why he pisses off a lot of coaches. And he gets a lot of coaches fired because he doesn't do what he's supposed to be doing out there on the field. And, what the coach wants him to do. And it's not going to work with KOC. I'm just saying. I think Kirk Cousins would be a way better person to be put in that situation. If he falls on his face, he falls on his face. I mean, I can't say anything to that, Dan, because Jack thinks he doesn't. He's not a good quarterback anymore. But whatever. It is. I mean, it is what it is. Everything is just weird in the NFL. Where you don't think somebody should be at, they're going to go. And then the team is terrible, and then they say, well, why is it they did this and they did this and they got this coach and they got this coach? Parts don't always fit. That's what makes championship teams. When your parts fit, that means you have a championship team. Seattle, all their parts fit. Super Bowl. So it's a crapshoot either way with any team.
All right, we have literally a few seconds left. Thanks for that, B. Of course, you guys talked about Joe Mixon being released from the Texans. Other notable cuts today, the Dolphins have released their team captain, Alec Ingold, and longtime kicker, Jason Sanders. And the Arizona Cardinals have also released their defensive lineman, Dalvin Tomlinson, just 1 year into a 2-year deal. Some closing scores here. The Duke-Carolina game is tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Duke is going to be looking to avenge their loss to the Carolina Tar Heels earlier this season. And my Hornets have ended their 10-game win streak. They fall to the Miami Heat 128-120. And the Celtics have beat the Dallas Mavs 120-100. Several other games that are still going on right now. You guys have to check those out as we are about to make like Easter Bunny and hop on off here. Make sure you check out James and B in the morning on the debate show with Jack Hirsch. We thank everyone for tuning in and likes, love, and happy birthday month to James. Good night.